My dear mother-in-law, we're pleased to know that we're in the synagogue on the Sabbath with Jesus. Those critics who claimed he was against the synagogue should have been silenced. Well, it's what I thought, but Jesus managed to make a mess, even of going to the synagogue. Well, not quite a mess, but he didn't exactly silence his critics. We're in the synagogue, and right at the front, near us, was a man with a withered hand. I could see by the look on his face that this man felt uncomfortable, that he'd rather not be there. Behind him were a group of men whose faces looked anything but friendly. I was sure there was some type of trap, that the man had been deliberately brought in. I wonder what Jesus was going to do. Ignore him, I hoped, not give the critics a chance to say anything. After all, if that man really wanted Jesus to heal his hand, he'd come back another day. He'd lived long enough with his disability. Jesus stopped talking and looked directly at the man and told him to stand up. My heart sunk. Why, Jesus? Why do you have to do anything here in front of your critics, and today on the Sabbath when no work is allowed? But I should have known better. The man stood there, his withered hand all bent and twisted, white and useless compared to his other one. I expect Jesus to touch the man, say something to heal him, but it was even worse. Jesus looked directly at those men who had seen earlier. Which is it lawful on the Sabbath, to do good or to do evil, to save life or to kill? He said. His words resonated around the synagogue. He didn't shout, just spoke firmly. There was an uncomfortable silence. I felt so embarrassed and ashamed. I wished the floor would just open up and swallow me. How could he? As I looked at Jesus, I saw on his face not anger, but distress, as though he felt sorry for those men, as though it was they that they were missing out. I didn't understand. How could Jesus feel for those men with their cold hearts and closed minds? Suddenly the silence was broken. Jesus turned once again to the man with the withered hand. Stretch out your hand, Jesus told him. The man did so, and his hand, it was no different. It was strong and whole and normal. The look on the man's face as he saw what had happened was a mixture of wonder and tears. As the man stood amazed at what had happened, there was a disturbance at the back as Jesus' critics left. Nothing was said, but the look they gave Jesus boded no good for the future. You know the saying, if looks could kill? Well, it was like that. I wonder, dear mother-in-law, what the future will bring. Clearly Jesus has made more enemies, yet to see the joy on that man's face when his hand was healed, I know which was more important. I hope to see you soon and enjoy the lights of your home cooking. All my love, Peter.